Hey guys, what's up? We're back doing this another video. Last time, I believe, I had the bike taken apart and I had all that side taken off, whatever. I got the fairings back on now, but went to put everything back together. This little oil light here came on. It basically has no oil pressure. I'm starting it. It doesn't want to do anything. So what's going on is this bike is stuck, locked up, can't do nothing about it besides put a different engine in now. So I do have a guy that's going to give me a bigger engine, which is going to be at 1198, and it would fit in here, but also you need to change. If you want to put a bigger engine into this, of course it'll fit. Everything's about the same with the body and everything, the framing, I'm sorry. And the only thing, if you do put everything on there with the original stuff from the 1098 onto the 1198, you will have a problem with the starting because it's not on this side. But the wiring harness that goes to the 1198 will not kick over the starter, or the harness that goes to the 1098 will not kick over the starter to the 1198 Ducati. So what you'd have to do, oh great, I got a error coming on here. I'll have to wait a couple seconds for this to go down. Sorry for the noise inconvenience here. I'll give you guys a little bit of music. Yeah. Well, it's probably not going to turn off anytime soon. Anyhow, what you got to do is you have to change the harness. You have to change the harness to the from the 1098 to the 1198 if you're going to use the 1198 engine and drivetrain or whatever onto this bike for the 2008 Ducati. All in all, it's probably about 2,000 or so for the engine itself. If need be, the computer needs to be changed. It'll probably be $700 with the harness little package together. What he's gonna give me. So I'm just debating if that's something I want to do, or if anybody wants to buy it the way it is, let me know. Let me know. Yeah. Let me know. So it's probably going to be for sale here pretty soon. I mean, the tires, everything else is pretty good. But besides that, the real reason why I made the video is because I want to let you guys know about what's going on when you see that light. And if that sensor is not plugged in right or whatever, it's gonna, obviously the light's gonna go off. But if that's leaking, then it's gonna set the light. But this sensor is good. I took it off and I used a gauge here, so oil set gauge. So really, if you get problems with that, you want to not drive it, or not ride it actually, and use one of these little sets, and it has little things, and these have different ones for bars, PSI, and ounces, whatever. So test it with that, change the oil, do all that stuff, and try to go from there. But you know, if it's kicking on, the engine's kicking on and it's running and it's starting by itself, and it's running for a little bit and then it turns off, and obviously you do have that light that's there, that's the red one here. This is not on now because the engine's on, the key's off. But if you do have that one on, don't run it no more, because you will have a problem. And I believe what happened to this one, the main bearing, whatever, what was actually going on here was when the stator went out, right in there. When the stator head went out, the bearing inside there, when I took the oil and I changed the oil, the bearings head was just came out and it was all broken. So I made a video of that. You can see it on my channel, one of the other videos there. And that center bearing that's in there is basically with plastic on that back side of it. So all that stuff got in there from that shaft, I guess the crankshaft being so out of play and everything, the inside basically coming this way. So when I took the clutches and everything else off this way, you could see the main bearing, and that's a big one. I mean, and the bearings are probably like real big like that, maybe about a 1/4 inch or so. Now that's for the main bearing on the inside of the engine. Now that one, you could feel it like moving, and I seen if you see a bearing, and I don't have one here that I could actually show you, but if you see a bearing and it's shiny, right, that's what a bearing should look like, okay? Now, as far as, I don't have any older ones here. Well, basically, it's like as if you got all this shiny stuff on here on the socket, right? Basically, all that stuff had came off of the bearing inside the main, on the main bearing inside the engine. So imagine all that shell of the shiny, coating, whatever, on the bearings from all of the bearings broken off. So that's how loose the bearing was. You should have zero play in that bearing. So when when all that's moving around and you're starting it, riding it, all this vibration, all that's coming down to the bottom. Now I took the screen off and I changed the thing like maybe oil like 2 times or whatever. I took this thing apart already, both sides, like 3 times. The only thing I haven't did was take the whole engine out and, rebuild it. And that's what's probably going to have to happen. Unless we just put another engine in and just get it going and get rid of it, But all in all, that's where it's at right now. So if you do have the problem with that, the oil, and that's the blood life of the engine, do not ride it, do not start it, And they already told me when I had bought this bike from a private party, he lied and said it was just an alternator and that's all it was, which it wasn't. The guy knew. And yeah, I did sign a little disclaimer for it, but that was my fault. So just know what you're getting into when you're trying to look for a bike and buy a bike. Yeah, that's all on this one. So if you know somebody, this bike is for sale the way it sits. I'm not going to be real cheap on it because all the other parts that it has, it's new on here besides, of the engine locking up, and all you have to do is change them over. So don't give me no low balls, okay, guys? Now, on another end, this is, we have the 999 Ducati. This bike was sitting for a little while. It was sitting, and it did have like a little coolant leak on here. Really, it was just this little clamp here, but the hose is already going to have to get replaced. We're going to have to replace that because it's swelling up, and it's not like this one. So this one and the other one you could just see that just swelling from outside the clamps or whatever from this one here. So I don't know if you can see that good or whatever. But this one, all in all, is a good little track bike and street bike together in one. And I do say this one is heavier than the 1098 for some reason. I do not know why, but it is pretty solid. I just have the plastic fairings off and everything, and I do have those here just sitting waiting to go back on. So in that note, I will leave this. Anything, let me know in the comments. What do you think? This one, I'll probably ride it for a while and probably also sell this too. This one does have like how many miles this has on here? It has 10,000 miles, 82. And on this one, if you guys wanted to see, I forgot to tell you guys because I am selling it. This is the original engine that's on here. And the guy just, yeah, 10,506 miles. So you could just imagine, this is 2008 and this is 06. It's pretty stock. So that's about it for now, guys. Thank you.